Your fast way to beauty is not to hope that at some point you'll find the right haircut, or you'll find your style, or you'll find the right skincare routine, and suddenly you will become beautiful. Your fast way to beauty is to actually heal the part of you that started to believe that you were not beautiful in the first place, that started to believe that you were not enough in the first place. And yes, after those beliefs, you started to shift your beauty. So now what you see in the mirror is the result of those beliefs, forever continuing to confirm what you believed in the first place. But you can get out of it, change the way you perceive yourself, change your definition of beauty, change the way you embody beauty, and transform back to yourself as a result. And when I say transform, I don't just mean to feel good internally, even though I always tell you like the feeling beautiful is really powerful, yes, but we want also some physical change because it's really frustrating. And I was that person before that I was so aware in my own head. I was so aware of everything. I was aware of myself, of my thought process. I was like, yeah, I'm spiritual. Yeah, I know that. Yeah. But externally, my face was still the face of the woman that was shameful and feeling not enough and who didn't dare to be seen. Externally, I was still the same because to transform what you have in your mind to the physical matter, you don't just need to think positive. It's not just a question to think positive. It's not just a question to look at yourself in the mirror every day and see that you have 20 kilos extra and still tell you that you are beautiful, you are beautiful, you are beautiful like a robot. This will not work. So you have the power to actually manifest beauty. And why I know that? Because I know that you are already beautiful in the first place. You were born like this. So of course you can get back into it at any moment that you decide to. You have the power to manifest beauty, you have the power to change your appearance. Yes, but it will take a little more than just some positive affirmations. So let me break everything down to you in this video. And girl, listen carefully because this might change your life if you struggle with your appearance. Okay, first, what do I call beauty identity? Behind beauty identity, I put everything like the beliefs that you have about yourself, the beliefs that you have and definitions that you have about beauty, the cultural expectations that you've been under, your childhood, your conditioning, your education, and your diverse experiences of shame or rejection or abandonment that created the way you now perceive yourself and believe things about yourself. So all of this and more created a beauty identity for you that you now consider yourself to be this and that. I consider myself to be a person who is naturally getting puffy, you know? This is a beauty identity that I have about myself and that I need to get rid of because I was not born as a puffy faced girl. I was just a cute baby or even an ugly baby, doesn't matter. This ugly or cute is just a reference to our definition of beauty. So it's still into my beauty identity package. You know, when I say cute baby or an ugly baby, it doesn't mean that any baby is actually ugly. So I have all those beauty identities, beliefs that create a package of like general identity. And if I look into it and not only change the thoughts behind it, but the actual pattern of my brain behind it, and also the behavior that it makes me have now in my daily life, then I can actually change first how I feel. Yes, first my identity, beliefs, and all of that, like internally in my mind, in my feeling, in my everyday life, how I carry myself in a room, all of that. But in the end, it will end up impacting the way I look. So now you might think like, so why the positive affirmation doesn't work then, Cora? Why telling myself every day that I love myself and that I'm beautiful in front of the mirror, why it could not work to change my identity, beauty identity in general, which includes some thoughts and beliefs? Because the brain works as such as if you give it the contrary of what it's believing, when you have a belief, it will come to you through proof. You will see the proof of what you believe. So it will become so logical for your brain that this is the truth. You know? If I believe that I'm the girl with always a puffy face, I will see the proof of that. I will see my face being puffy and be like, yes, I knew it. I'm the girl with a puffy face. Or I will hear a comment about me and I will not hear the 1,000 other comments. I will hear the one who says, isn't her face puffy today? You know? I will hear or read that comment and I will keep it in my mind all day and I will be like, yeah, this is the proof. This is the proof I'm the girl with a puffy face and everyone can see it. You know, when you have a self belief, when you have a belief in general, your system will try to make it appear because it's already your belief, and then it will become more and more logical for you that yes, I am a girl with a puffy face. Look, I'm puffy, and people are saying that I'm puffy, and how is it not true? Like, I'm the girl with a puffy face. Stop lying to me. And if I look at myself in the mirror and just repeat to myself, no, your face is so thin, your face is so thin, your face is so thin, what it will create is the same as when you tell someone, I'm not so good today, and they are saying, yes, you are good. Don't think negative, you are good. But you know inside of it that you are not feeling good. And this is not helping. You know, first hear me out, I'm not feeling good, and then help me find a real solution, but don't tell me that I'm just good and just don't think about it, you are good. You know, it creates the same for your brain. If you know that you have extra kilos and you look at yourself in the mirror and try to tell yourself every day, I'm so thin, I'm so thin, I'm not fat, I'm not fat, what it will create that your brain will enter in a confrontation with you because for him this is logical. Like, look, I am fat. So why are you saying that? Not even it's not working to use this kind of positive thinking, but it's even creating the contrary because the more you will tell yourself that I am thin, I am beautiful. When you believe and see, in that moment, your eyes are seeing the opposite. It doesn't mean that it is the truth. It means that it is what you see and it is what is logical for you at that moment. So in that moment, you will fight it and it will become even more present in yourself that, yes, I am ugly. Why are you saying that I'm beautiful? And you will repeat, no, I'm beautiful. And it will repeat, no, I'm not. And it will reinforce the first belief that you want to get rid of. So this kind of positive thinking or positive affirmation, they don't really work. And the people that say that it worked for them, I can believe them, but probably they did something else with that they embodied it or they had another thing that they didn't realize what's happening at the same time. But just affirmation like this to just tell yourself, I'm beautiful when you feel that you are ugly, or I'm thin when you think that you are fat, or I'm not puffy, I'm tall, I'm so good in my face is so good when you see that your face is puffy, it will not help. This is not the way. Stop losing your time with that. So how we will do it? How we will shift our beauty identity so that we can actually embody something new and different and feel different and then change little by little our appearance. How we will do this if we cannot use the positive thinking? So the general idea will be to start re-identifying with a beautiful woman, okay? Because for some reason along the way you stopped identifying as a beautiful woman. Maybe you think you're not enough, maybe you think you're not lovable, maybe you think you're someone that is always abandoned. Whatever it is, you started identifying as, I'm not beautiful, I'm not enough, I'm not that girl. And this re-identification should be not only in your thoughts, like, yes, I am beautiful, I'm re-identifying as a beautiful woman, okay? It should be in your behavior. It should be in your presence. It should be in your decisions. It should be in the way you talk and walk and let yourself be seen. The important is that you should not feel like you are faking it, like, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, I am beautiful. Okay? You should not feel like you are faking it. You should feel like you are rebuilding yourself into it. So, in both ways, you can recognize that you are not yet there. Okay, I'm not yet there to fully recognize myself as a personally as a woman who is not always puffy. You know, I'm working on it, but I'm not there yet. Still, I can recognize that I'm building myself into it. I can build myself into it little by little. as opposed to faking it, which would which would mean tell myself that I am beautiful. My face is perfect. My face is perfect. My face is perfect. No, it's not. It's not. But it's okay. It's okay because I'm building myself into my initial version who was not once again a baby who was destined to have a puffy face, you know? It was just a baby born in this world. One of the first steps for me is to redefine beauty because our notion of beauty shifted so much through social media and everything. I mean, even the way we talk to each other, interact with each other, and the brands and everything. I mean, it's shifted to nowadays beauty might be for you definition of perfection, for example, which was not the case even a few years ago. It was beauty was diversity, beauty was natural, beauty was elegance, you know? Maybe today for you it shifted to beauty is perfection. Beauty is perfect jawline, perfect traits. Beauty is being seen, beauty is being admired, beauty, I don't know what is the definition of beauty that you have in your mind, but what if you redefined it in a way that is actually serving you? And as I was saying before, for your brain, when you have a self belief, when you have a shame about something, or when you have a behavior, for your brain, it is logical to have that behavior, or to believe that about yourself, or to have that shame about yourself. It is so logical that you cannot just say, okay, now, definition of beauty is that everyone is beautiful. Okay? It will not believe it. Okay? You need to use the same logic. What is logic to you might not be logic to me. Okay, your logic, because it's your brain that you're trying to trick, not mine. Okay, in your logic, what would be a better definition of beauty that would be logical but at the same time would serve you? I, for example, decided that in my new version of beauty, what is more logical for me and actually serves me is that beauty is unconstant, you know? They are trying to make us believe that beauty is a constant perfection, but I believe beauty is not constant. Beauty is inconsistent, and that's what makes it beautiful. It's changing. It's never freezed into something. And it helped me. Why? Because before I thought that even if I have a day where I feel beautiful, it's not enough until 100% of my day I feel beautiful, and it's not possible. At least for me, it's not possible. Some days I feel like shit. Some days I have my period. Some days I didn't do my hair and I'm in a messy bun and it looks generally not so great. But if I start to believe that beauty is inconsistent, I start to understand that I can identify as a beautiful woman, even though some days I'm not. Even though someday I'm not recognizing myself as such, I still know that I am a beautiful woman. And how I made that logical for me is that I thought I recognize about myself that I'm a good cook, for example. I'm a very good cook. I cook marvelously. I know that about myself and I believe that about myself. It might not be true for everyone, even though I think it is, at least for my husband, and that's the most important. And whatever, I believe that about myself. But sometimes I will try a new recipe and it will turn out disgusting. And still, even though I made a mistake or served something disgusting, it never changed my self belief that I'm a good cook. In that moment, for me, in my own brain logic, I'm just a good cook who had a bad day, who had a bad experience, who made a mistake in her cooking. But still, I am still that cook who loves to cook and who likes to play with food and who is good with that, good at that. And so I started viewing beauty the same way because it's just something that you are. And even if one day my hair are not done or if today I don't feel so good, I'm just a beautiful woman who has a bad day, who has a not so beautiful day. It doesn't change my core. It's just a day. So for me, it can be different for you, but for me, this definition of beauty became more helpful and more logical in my head because nothing is so constant, nothing is so perfect. even in the things that you recognize that you are good at, or even that you are amazing at. Maybe you play tennis amazingly, you are an amazing tennis player. Maybe you read so many books and you are an amazing reader. Still, you might miss something from one book one day. Still, you might not play so good in that tennis game today. But still, you will recognize that in your core you are an amazing tennis player. You just had a bad day. You just had a bad game, and it happens. It's same with beauty. So just think about it. Think about the definition that you want to use from now on that will help you embody it. Because if you start to embody, try to change your behavior, but you go from the wrong basis, that it's a definition that actually doesn't serve you, you will constantly be in a struggle. If I keep thinking that beauty is a perfection, and beauty is a constant perfection, that I should be everyday beautiful if I want to be able to consider myself as a beautiful woman, I will always struggle. Every day, even if it's one day in the year that I feel ugly, I will be like, okay, that's it. Perfection finished. I'm not beautiful. you know? Even though I'm doing the work, even though I'm thinking positive, even though I'm putting effort into my appearance or whatever, I will still think that I'm not a beautiful woman, and I will still be in, in incapacity of recognizing myself and identifying myself as a beautiful woman. So your definition is very important. And probably the definition that you have right now is not even yours. It's the definition of other people, movies that you saw, songs that you heard, social media posts that you saw. It's not yours. So have a little bit of rebellious mind and try to decide for your own of the definition that you want to give to such a thing as beauty. It's a concept. You can decide about that. So you can play with that. And the second thing that you will do is to have an intentional presence with your face and body. Once you change definition, you need then to embody that definition. You need to embody that beauty. And you can start to do that by being intentionally present with yourself, your body, your face. Look at yourself, be there, appreciate, take the time, see yourself in general. Of course, if I film myself from the down, I will always see my double chin. Something happened, by the way, that when we are calling the family of my husband, he's Turkish, his family is in Turkey, we are calling them often and we WhatsApp them or whatever. And my husband, out of laziness, is always just filming like from very down, because he is lazy to just putting the phone up. And I don't really care. Like, I know that I look ugly, but once again, since changing my definition of beauty, I'm like, this is not really me. Like, this is just an ugly angle of me, and it doesn't change the fact that I'm still identifying and choosing to identify as a beautiful woman, and I know that I'm beautiful. So I see myself like there is double chin, and imagine that you take a video of you from like the most down angle that you can take, okay? And so his family used to see me like this, used to see me like a very big face from the down. And every time we visit them, they are like, oh my God, you lost so many kilos. What happened? Oh my God, your face got so thin. And it's very funny because I'm getting compliments on what I used to think that was my down point. Like I was really into that idea that I have a big face, I will always have a big face, I have a puffy face, I'm the girl with a puffy face. And now I'm getting compliments not because I did something to my face, but actually because I stopped caring. I stopped caring and they saw me like this. And then when they saw my real face, they were like, oh my God, you look beautiful. What you did to your face? Did you do some Botox or something? I'm like, no, this is just me. I mean, you are generally seeing me from down. That's it. It's just a different angle of my face. And every time, like literally every time that I meet them, they are still believing that, wow, you lost so many kilos. Like, what happened? And still, I'm like, no, this is really just my face, you guys. And if I was trying to hide and tell my husband like, no, please don't take that angle of me, no, what people will think of me, no, I don't want people to see that because I'm already ashamed of my puffy face. So, you know, first I would not get any compliments. This would just be my face, and they might even think that, ah, she having a little puffy face, yeah, you know. And oh, it will be so frustrating all the time, you know. If your definition of beauty is that you need to be perfect all the time, it's so frustrating and it's so impossible to attain. I mean, I've been there, and I don't recommend that definition of beauty, that beauty should be perfection and beauty should be forever being in your best angle. And even though I don't want to on purpose put myself in a bad angle, you know, I'm filming a YouTube video, I'm not going to film from down, I'm filming in a good angle, I'm feeling in a way that I will feel good watching my own videos later, you know. But I'm also not going to do on purpose, uh, try to hide something when it's not becoming perfect, because now in my mind it doesn't change my identification as a beautiful woman. And so, in either extreme, I'm not into it. I'm not going to put glitter on whatever fat or default or flaws that they have and put it on Instagram or any social media and say, look, I have also some flaws, and try to get some likes and validation from my flaws. No, I'm not going to do that. I like to have a good angle of myself. I like to have good photos. Yes. But at the same time, if it happens that I have a bad photo, if it happens that, because before, but we will talk about this in another video, because the photos were a big subject for me. When I was having a bad photo or a bad day or a bad comment from someone, it was really questioning my full beauty identity. I was like, oh, I'm trying so hard, but still I'm not enough. Still I'm not beautiful. Still I'm not perfect. You know, you need to detach those things. Beauty isn't constant. Beauty is moving. Beauty is changing. Beauty is, you are more beautiful because of it. You are more beautiful because of it, because of those contrasts. And when you are changing the way that you talk to yourself, for changing your belief internally, don't talk to yourself as a positive thinking manner, like, I am beautiful, no, I should not talk like this to myself, no, you know, put a little bit of humor first. I like to laugh at my own brain and at my own like way of thinking about things. And I like to ridiculize and really I logify, if that word exists. You know, I said that for your brain, all of this it's so logical, so you need to use the same method for reversing that. You need to make it seem illogical, completely illogical and completely ridiculous. Like, how ridiculous is it that beauty would be perfection? How ridiculous is it when we see that a flower, who is one of the most beautiful things that you can have around you, a flower will sometimes get dry, will sometimes lack water, will sometimes get too much wind, will sometimes get down, get up, get better, get more sun, get less, go through the seasons. You know, you see that beauty is not constant. You see that a sunrise or a sunset, it's not all day, it's just during one moment of the day. So, how illogical, how ridiculous it would be to think that beauty is constant, beauty is perfection, beauty is always there, always perfect, always, never down, never bad, never having an ugly day, never. How ridiculous it sounds when you see around yourself what is beautiful. Look at the sky, it's constantly changing, and so are you. And you are even more beautiful because of it. Because if the sky was always the same, I would never look up anymore to look at it. I only look up because I want to see how the clouds looks like today. And it's the same for you. Look at yourself like, let me see how the clouds are today. Let me see how the sun is today. Ah, today maybe the sun is hiding, and tomorrow it will be shining. But still the sun is the sun, and the sky is the sky, and the flower is a flower. So, yes, start to change your self perception, view yourself as beautiful, and identify with a beautiful woman. But at the same time, I would not define it as a body positive um, approach of things, just in the way that you have the right, at the same time that you re-identify as a beautiful woman, you have the right to refuse the image that you see. And it's really weird to explain this because it's really splitting your brain into two, and we are not used to that. But at the same time, you should, in your core, re-identify with a beautiful woman, but not as you perceive yourself right now. So for example, if I perceive myself with 20 kilos extra, I might have only 10 kilo extra, but maybe I perceive myself with 20 kilo extra. Okay, if I am in body positive mindset or thinking, I will tell myself, no, you are beautiful like this, stay with 20 kilos more. First, I don't even have 20 kilos more. Why should I accept myself with 20 kilos more when it's just a self perception and I actually have 10 kilos more? First of all. And second of all, even if it's just 10 kilos, why should I accept them as myself? How am I more myself with 10 more kilos? How am I less myself when I'm in a good weight that I'm feeling good and comfortable in? It doesn't make sense, right? So at the same time, I want you to refuse that image in the sense that, yes, this is who I embody right now. I embody a woman with 10 extra kilos. Whatever, yes, I can see it. But it's not really me, it's just an extra. That's why we call it extra kilos. Okay, it's because it's not you, it's extra than you. Okay, why is it extra then? If it's you, if it's you, it would not be extra kilos, it would just be your kilos, you know. But if you have 10 extra kilos, it's extra than you. So those 10 extra kilos, they are not you. You don't have to accept them, you don't have to embellish them. You can refuse that image in the sense that I know that this is not me. I know that the real me is balanced human being without extra kilos. That's it. But at the same time, I recognize that in my core, I identify as a beautiful woman. You see the difference? It's like having mud on your car, and yes, you see the mud, but at the same time, you don't identify with the mud. You still identify with the car. So you make the effort to remember how beautiful was the car, because right now you cannot see it, you can just feel it, you can just remember it. So you make this effort to remember, to focus on what was the car, how do you feel the car underneath that mud, and you re-identify with the car, and you reject the mud because this needs to get washed. You know, I always tell my clients, when you see a Porsche, I think you say in English, when you see a Porsche on the street with some mud on it, do you see a muddy car or do you still see a Porsche with a little bit of mud? You most likely see a Porsche with a little bit of mud. So it's the same with you. You don't need to romanticize the mud, you don't need to embellish the mud, but don't either like cover the mud with a plastic sheet over the car, because of course the plastic sheet might be perfect. You don't see the mud anymore. You see just a perfect plastic sheet, but it will never be as iconic as the Porsche underneath it. And what a shame to cover yourself your entire life just to cover the mud that could have been washed. And at the same time, as you cover the mud, you actually cover the car. So when you see other people with a beautiful, perfect plastic sheets, those women with perfectly drawn jawline, with perfect face, perfect eyebrows, perfect hair, it's nice, but it's still just a sheet, a plastic sheet covering the real treasure. Don't do the same mistake. Directly wash the mud, and the Porsche is a Porsche. No plastic sheet whatsoever, even the best one can ever compare. Babe, you got this. See you in the next one.